Okay, day 23. Right. Saturn sphere, pillar of severity. Been a bit of a kind of a tough day, I suppose. This is to be expected, of course. Uh, so I've actually been out collecting stuff from the wild. um, okay, so I've been like questioning, the purpose of this. Where is it taking me and that sort of thing. Um, okay, so the sphere of understanding. There's some weird stuff, right? If you do a study of like yoga, for example, some of the higher aspects of like the higher branches of yoga, because you start off on the physical stuff. I mean, it's a bit like what we're doing with this work. This is a kind of type of yoga, broadly speaking, in a way of looking at it. um, yeah, some of the higher aspects are like things like getting rid of the soul and getting rid of the consciousness and stuff, and for the uninitiated, it's all kind of sounds a bit weird, and I can't really say I really understand it myself. But I've read about it, and that's exactly what they're doing, all this stuff, this is where it's all leading to. So, I suppose pretty sure it's worth bearing these things in mind, like to try and, if you're going to get an understanding of it, or if you're not going to get an understanding of it, which is my idea, then what is the best way to try and appraise the situation? How do you deal with it? Now, as you get up into these like higher dimensions, like the mental plane, you start looking like, if you get above the astral plane, right, you're into the mental plane. There's no place for emotion there. Okay, you're going above the level of emotion, so you're dealing with like harmony and beauty, and that's a mental thing. You start to be able to live in the mind and have the mind reward, be its own reward for its own um, explorations and adventures and stuff, without needing the emotional content. The mind will provide, it will be enough, you know, for its, and sustain itself through its own, qualities, without needing that emotional support. Without having to have things based on an emotion. The emotional plane is really the matrix plane. It's how the matrix works. People are in the matrix because everything they do is dependent on some kind of emotion. It's not. What happens then is that all your thoughts and stuff are dependent on emotion, so they're not pure thoughts. You can't really. That's why you're kind of trapped in the matrix. So to get up above that, you have to let go of emotions and attachments. That is all connected with the idea of non-attachment, not being attached to things. Okay, so right, that's one of the things to bear in mind as we're dealing with this. Oh, that's right, yeah. How to appraise it, like a child, I think. Um, that's my view. You just have to think of the situation that you're in and see it through the eyes of a child, and not try and get caught up in all the mental stuff or the emotional stuff too much, and look at it in a simple way. I think that's quite important, and that's how I deal with this. My inability or unwillingness to understand all this stuff. The other thing, yeah, is that to have a soul, right? Because in this sort of environment, is really hard work, and it's about being, as opposed to not being. And this everything, the whole universe, all the gods, everything in a sense, are all directing you towards not being, being like a sheep and just going with the flow. And so being a living soul in this world is like everything's going against you. So it's a real struggle and quite a lot of hard work. But the thing is, not being, as far as I'm concerned, it's like it might be a lot easier, and everything might be going for you like that. But what, what do you gain if you gain the world but lose your soul? To me, it just like that is the challenge in itself is worth it. It's the challenge makes it worth it because it's so difficult. So that's one of the things. Yeah, get used. That's what the lesson for today. You've got to come to terms with that if you're going to carry on with this path. you know, Even though everything's going to be against you, you've got to think to yourself, right, is it worth it? Is it worth being, or should I just not be? Should I be a sheep, or should I be a goat? And you know what the correct answer is. So, I look forward to tomorrow, which we're going down to the Sphere of Mercy. So, look forward to tomorrow.